I'm Spirit Keeper, and I give you a reason for every season. And today, Spirit Halloween has just revealed Wave 5 for the 2025 animatronic lineup. Today is a very exciting day because I'm going to be uploading 2 videos in the same day. And if you haven't already, make sure to go and check out my exclusive first look at the Home Depot Halloween 2025 animatronic lineup. But now we are here to talk about Spirit Halloween, what I guess is supposed to be Wave 5 of their animatronics. And now this wave is probably the best wave we have gotten thus far. We still have at least one more wave of animatronics to be revealed, and with today being July 29th, we definitely don't have a lot of time left until stores do start opening, so hopefully really soon we will get even more animatronics. But without wasting any more time, let's jump into this Wave 5 of animatronics. First up, we have the Lantern Keeper, and this guy definitely isn't anything special, as he is pretty much a reskin of Silent and Deadly. Obviously, Silent and Deadly being from 2013 and being brought back for 2025 for halfway to Halloween. And now the Lantern Keeper has that same shushin animation. However, this time his arm does actually lower and it comes back up, which is new, but still, I don't know why this guy had to have the shushin animation. I feel like he should have had anything else besides that. It just doesn't make sense whatsoever for this prop to have that animation. And the audio. The audio isn't terrible, but I mean, once again, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't fit the character whatsoever. And I think that he definitely should have had a different animation. I will say that I do like his clothing, and I don't think that looks bad. As you can see, he has that sort of burlap shirt, and then those brown pants, and then the boots. I don't think that looks bad. The hat, and then the face sculpt. The face does look really nice. And I also love that ribcage area where you can actually see almost the pumpkin, and then it has an LED in there. You can see like the wood sort of roots, which I think that looks really nice, but it's almost hidden by his shushin hand. And I don't get why they would hide that, because that's definitely one of the best parts about him. And then obviously he has a lantern, as his name is the Lantern Keeper. But I mean, overall, this guy just isn't anything too special. He stands 6 feet 8 inches tall and is being retailed for $229.99. And I don't think that's a terrible price tag, especially because he stands close to 7 feet tall, and then he does also have that shushin animation. So I guess it isn't the worst price, but he definitely isn't one for me. I will also mention that it does say coming soon, so you can't actually buy him just yet, and you will see that is the case on some other animatronics. Next up, we have another missed opportunity, with this being Headcase Harry, and this is a mutated clown with 2 heads. And this is such an awesome concept, but I feel like it should have been used on any other character besides a clown, because we just get so many clowns. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever for a clown to have 2 heads. It should have been on a monster, even a zombie. Any other character would have fit this concept besides a clown. I will mention that he is going to be featured in the ISC, and that's really crazy because he does feature some blood, and now we do know Spirit. They sort of step back on the scary factor, and then they also step back on the quote-unquote gore, but he does have some blood on his shirt and then his arm, which I think it does look really good, and that is a nice little detail they did add. I also do like his color scheme. I definitely don't think that's bad. He has the purple and orange going on, and I do think that that's definitely a nice color scheme. But once again, going back to the head, I just don't get why this had to be on a clown. I do think the head does look good, though. Don't get me wrong. I love that the face that's almost smaller does have those really sharp razor blade teeth. I think that that's nice, and then the other head is sort of just normal. And I also like the almost party hat that he has on. Doesn't really make sense, but I do think it's a nice added touch. Another flaw I have with Harry is that in the hand that he holds the knife in, his left arm, he does have some animation, and at first I was like, oh, that's nice, but it's so robotic. Like, he slightly moves it each time. It just doesn't look fluid whatsoever. It doesn't look realistic, and I just don't get why they had to make it like that. It doesn't fit the character either. He's supposed to be a sort of human mutated clown, but his movement is so robotic. I just don't really get this guy. However, I do like the candy that he holds in his right hand. I think that that's nice. But then going back to the phrases. Take a candy! The phrases are so bad. The 2 heads literally talk back and forth to each other, and one of the phrases literally have to do with the candy. I just don't think that the phrases on this guy are strong either, and he's going to be retailed for $269.99, so $270, which is absolutely absurd. For Headcase Harry, you're going to spend $270 for a robotic animatronic. That is a missed opportunity. I just don't get the price on this guy, and I really just don't get the overall idea behind this animatronic. An animatronic that's decent is going to be Fire Demon, and I will say that when I talked about Lantern Keeper, I didn't mention that he is outdoor rated, and now with Fire Demon, he is also outdoor rated. But no, Spear, I doubt that these are actually outdoor rated. I think it's just a way to sort of justify the price, even though they probably aren't outdoor rated, and I don't recommend leaving them outside in the rain or anything like that. But I do think Fire Demon looks really cool. I definitely think that's awesome that he is a demon, because we really don't get demon animatronics from Spear anymore. And I really love the flame light that he actually has in his head and then his rib cage. And I also really like his overall face sculpt. I think that looks really nice. And then those super long horns. I think that looks awesome. And I will say that he's actually a jump scare animatronic, similar to the Blackheart. However, this time it is much faster, as he actually sort of hides his face and reveals it with a really fast jump scare, as his arms sort of hide his face. And he does stand 6 feet 10 inches tall. So definitely not the tallest prop, but still a decent height for this animatronic. And I really love that ribcage area. As I mentioned, he does have a flame light in there, and I think it looks really good. Now, I have heard that Fire Demon's mouth, as he does have some mouth movement, is really clacky, and well, that definitely isn't a good thing. It does suck. That's definitely going to be loud and clacky, because I mean, nobody really wants that. But he's being retailed for $309.99, which is once again absolutely insane. $310 for a prop that just has a jump scare that's actually somewhat slow, if I'm being kind of honest. And then he just reveals his face, and he's just sort of just like a prop covered up with cloth and clothing. $310 is just absolutely insane. And once again, going back to that outdoor rated, that's just a way to justify the price. Even though this thing should not be left outside in the rain, I'm telling you right now, I doubt that it's going to be able to withstand the wind, let alone the rain. So $310 for Fire Demon, in my opinion, is a complete ripoff. We all expected to be getting an animatronic named Grave Danger, and I was super excited for that animatronic. But I didn't think it could get much worse this year besides Two-Faced Teddy and Night Owl. But it surely did, as this was Grave Dancer. Not Grave Danger, Grave Dancer. Who even thought of this concept? Because they have to be fired. Who even approved this? It's literally a little girl dancing on top of a tombstone. This thing is so dumb. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This is probably the worst prop we have ever gotten. Not even just from Spear. Ever. And that's absolutely crazy to say. We're in 2025 and we're still getting props like this from Spirit Halloween, a company that is completely focused on Halloween, and Home Depot is beating them. A literal hardware company is beating a Halloween company when it comes to Halloween retail animatronics. This thing is just so bad. It feels incomplete. It's just, there's something missing from this thing. And also, the girl that stands on top of the tombstone and sort of dances back and forth, it reminds me a lot of the Morris Costumes Balancing Clown, and it really looks like a Morris Costumes prop. You can just see the proportions on this thing are way off as well. The legs are super tiny, the arms are too long, and then its overall just torso body looks way too small. I just really have no clue what they were going for, and I'm happy to say that this is going to be an online and inbox only, so definitely a plus to this, because I do not want to see this thing in person whatsoever. I mean, this is just so incredibly bad. I can't even describe it. It just doesn't look good. And she's being retailed for $189.99, and she's coming soon. I hope she doesn't come soon. I hope she actually disappears soon, because this thing should just not be retailed for 2025. And $190 for some little girl literally bouncing on a tombstone with some absolutely terrible phrases. Hi there. $190 is absolutely insane. And she only stands 5 feet 2 inches tall. It's not like she's 7 feet tall or anything. 5 feet tall, $190, some dumb phrases, and then a dumb animatronic overall. I just didn't think it could get any worse than Night Owl, but now here we are. Well, next up we have Bullseye. And let me give you my pros on him first. I like his eye patch. Now moving on to the cons, this thing is not good whatsoever. Again, another animatronic that has the 360 rotating head, just like Miss Mercy and Stills. Now this 360 does work really well on certain props. For example, Miss Mercy, that was such an awesome concept in animatronic, but it just doesn't work for clowns, and especially Bullseye. It's a clown with his head through a bullseye board. You can't get better than that. That is so awesome. But his head spins 360 degrees. Now, I will give him that I do like his animation somewhat because it does actually change directions compared to just going 360 over and over and over again. So I do like that it actually changes directions. He does actually have mouth movement, which is really surprising, but it just doesn't work for this prop. It doesn't make sense. And I do like the Bullseye board. The Bullseye board looks really nice. It does actually have knives in it, but it's made of cardboard. Why is it made of cardboard? That is such bad quality. You can't even leave this thing outside for a minute in the rain without it getting absolutely destroyed. You might as well call it just clown, not even Bullseye, after you leave it in the rain, because this thing is going to get destroyed. And then this is being retailed for $249.99. For a 4 foot 6 inches tall prop, $250? No! That doesn't make any logical sense. And the Bullseye board is made of cardboard once again. And this guy's voice and phrases are also terrible. Round and round. I feel like Spirit this year, they said, oh, let's make a prop that doesn't look great. And let's also make the phrases even worse. It just doesn't make any sense. I feel like they're trying to make themselves have a bad year. $250 for Bullseye is absolutely insane. Finally, what might be the best prop of the year, which is so sad to say, is going to be Sam from Trick or Treat, officially licensed. This thing is actually good. It's so cool. This thing has some side-to-side head tilt and movement, and nothing crazy, but he does also sit on a pumpkin in a haystack, and the pumpkin actually lights up. I know that sounds like a super small added detail, but it really makes this prop look really good. And Sam himself looks really awesome, and I love the candy that he does have in his hand. I think that this animatronic is really cool, but it gets even better because he actually has a projection of the rules of Halloween. We haven't seen a projection since Reagan in 2022, and I think it works so well for Sam. And also his audio is just so perfect. It's just that ambience of the Trick or Treat soundtrack. It is just so good. Overall, I think that this prop might be one of the best this year, which is so sad to say, but I unfortunately won't be getting him because I'm not a huge fan of the licensed stuff because I can't really use it in my haunt. But he's being retailed for $249.99, and I know a lot of people are saying that this is definitely a lot, and I do agree it's not the greatest price, but I mean, look at the other props we have. $250 really isn't bad if we're comparing this. I mean, would you rather get Bullseye or Sam? I would 100% go with Sam. They're the same exact price. Sam does stand 3 feet 4 inches tall, and I know you're thinking, that is even shorter than Bullseye, but it just works for this prop because obviously Sam is a little kid. It just works so well, and I think Sam is such an awesome animatronic. And for $250, I don't think it's that bad. Well, that's going to be it for the 5th disappointing wave for Spirit Halloween 2025. And let me know down in the comments below if you even like this wave. But anyway, make sure you remember that I'm a Spirit Keeper, and I give you a reason for every season. Bye.